these different gel mediums go from high solid gel down to soft, and that's how thick they form peaks, okay? And Heather took a beautiful picture of this here to kind of show you how like runny or thick each one is. Does that make sense? So some of them are runnier than others. So like on skin, you're gonna wanna use them, the ones that are a little runnier. You don't want a lot of texture on skin. But like on pieces like this where we have a lot of fabric and highlights, we might wanna add a lot of texture in there to create interest, okay? So the other control is sheen, okay? There's everything from gloss to semi-gloss to matte. Matte is the one that you stay away from, okay? Matte does not dry clear, it dries white. And it looks terrible on your painting. So, and when you mix it with paint, it looks great for applying paint, but if you're just gonna apply the gel medium by itself in matte, don't use matte. If you want a matte painting in the end, you'll finish with a spray that's matte, okay? All right, other supplies that you'll need to do this are just a cup of water, just warm, I use warm water, a little, you know, just like this. I had the Danielle, the assistant here, get me a cup of water, that's really all you need. Heather always recommends putting a roll of masking tape and putting the cup in the masking tape so you don't knock it over. It's actually quite a nice little tip. And then you also want tape to kind of tape down your canvas. And you can just use a piece of cardboard. It doesn't have to be anything major. A piece of cardboard works fine. You need lots of daylight balanced light, okay? You want to work in an area that's got good light, okay, so you can see what's happening. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into painting here. I'm going to go ahead and start off with, I'm just going to go ahead and start off with thicker texture so you can guys see that. I'm going to use the high solid gel, okay? Get myself situated here. And at first, when you first do this, you'll freak out what you're doing to your canvas, okay? That's kind of why we wanted to show this. And here's what it looks like when you open it up. It literally looks like white glue, okay? And when you dip your brush in it, it's kind of sticky, and some gels are easier to work with than others, okay? This high solid gel is newer, and it actually is an amazing medium to work with because it's thick and dries thick, but it has a, some of them are like working, as Heather calls it, like working with snot. And it's the heavy gel, the gloss, this stuff is really thick, and it literally dries quickly as you work, and it's becomes so gooey that it feels like you're rubbing snot on your painting. So just watch out for that. And they all behave differently. So the way to do this is to hold your brush. You don't want to dab your painting, because then you'll develop these peaks on your painting that are unnatural looking. You want to kind of hold your brush at a 45-degree angle and go with the strokes of what you painted in Corel. Okay, and you're literally just going to cover your canvas, and you can do it fairly quickly. I mean, it's not something that takes a lot of effort or time. But some mediums, like over here, I kind of did a little bit more of a textural look to the painting. So I'm just going to follow those brush strokes instead of the swoopy ones that I did over here. So you just really want to follow the lines. And it's not that hard to do. So over here where I did the little boy's wrap that was on him, I'm going to lay it on pretty thick and really create that texture and let it dry like that. Okay, so you can see it's kind of stiff and sticking up. I can switch to a softer medium, like go to the extreme other end. Soft gel gloss is a very flat, I just got it all over me. Paper towels are a good thing to have on hand too. It levels when it dries, so as it sits on the canvas, it's very light and soft. You can see it's a lot waterier. So this is what I would use on the face, because I don't want things to be too textured on the face. Now, if you study fine art, and go to museums, and I strongly recommend going to museums, you will look at paintings in a whole new light, because you'll start to look at them for their texture. And what you'll discover is that highlights are often lifted. So the brighter parts, and it's so beautiful when you see an artist do this, and it just makes my heart sing when I do this. Andrew Wyeth does this a lot in his paintings, where you'll see the highlights
will be lighter or higher on the canvas than the shadows.
And it really makes the highlights come forward and the shadows recede.